is a fascinating thing. We often like to think of it as something that just is. But too many people let the past determine who they are. When true greatness is determined by how one deals with the present. So if I'm helping you, I have one condition.
Yeah. No more quitting.
Time is a gift, Iceland. What are you gonna do with yours?
Fluorspar can be an unpredictable city. Affluency doesn't mitigate its problems. In some ways, it amplifies them. This is why we're deployed. But we've seen better days.
Then why are we just now debriefing?
This mission is not complete.
I only know of her. Our lack of data collection is a problem.
Valdez, I'm aware of your investigative talents. Braxwell spoke highly of you, and that's why you're on this team. Local law enforcement handles itself very well. But there are those with abilities. Some believe themselves to be good. Others don't even attempt to act as if they are. Either way, we're involved. Not everyone will agree with our status. But that can be said for anything. May I remind you both, we're Alpha Core, and failure is not what we do.
This woman is dangerous, reckless, and far too carefree. Power that even rivals Solari. Interesting. What the hell is this crazy woman up to? Time to earn our paycheck. See you soon. Yeah, I will.
Who the hell is this guy? What's he want? Where's he come from? After every soldier I have with him and he kicks their ass. Outman. Outgunned. And he walks away clean. With my money. Now what are y'all gonna do about that?
Turn us loose, Tuna.
Let us do what we do.
All right. So I know obviously there's one more that I could share. There's a animation with Blood Ruth that was in that trailer. There's also obviously Norfolk Glorious Death. Gooding was semi-animated, but I wanted to go ahead and get things on the road because I want to talk about this. I've been itching to talk about this. And I know we stealth dropped it. A couple of hours ago, we stealth dropped it. I understand that. I'm totally aware. So now we have to let everybody know what the heck is going on, okay? So I'm going to explain it, the goals, and I would appreciate you if you are hanging out with me tonight if you went and backed this project. You can. This is not like our pre-order campaigns, okay? So you can back for you can actually choose your price, but you can back for as little as $5 and actually get something in return as far as the insider information and everything associated with it. So I'd greatly appreciate it if you would support the effort. I'm going to explain everything and what's happening. You can go to rippaworks.com/animation. That'll take you directly to the animation funding website, or you can just head over to rippaverse.com. We now have a RippaWorks tab at the top. Click that drop down and go straight to this. I appreciate that big time. All right, let me speak about what's happening here, okay? And what's going on. I want to give you the whole spiel, how we came up with the idea. Obviously, I got to be a bit of a salesman because I want to see this happen. But this is totally up to y'all with this new initiative that we are launching, okay? So I'll bring it up here, and I'm going to explain RippaWorks. I'll explain everything in great detail, be interactive even with the chat, because if you guys have some information that you want me to relay to you as far as how this stuff works, I would love to answer any questions that you all have. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And again, we'll start getting things going here if I can find it. Wow, I have a million tabs open, and that doesn't help. That does not help. Where is the? All right, there it is. Damn, I'd search high and low for that. All right, so let's start here, okay? So I kind of alluded to this in one of my previous shows with my co-host As, ripping the silverback every Wednesday that we do. And there was one time, there was a show, I can't remember if it was this week, past week, or the week before. I think it was the week before. And we were talking about HasLab and everything and things that they had done. And one of the cool things that they do is, I would say, do it with various other properties. But one of the things that that they do, they didn't invent crowdfunding at all, but it is on a very strict, it's true to crowdfunding in that it's a very strict thing. It needs a certain amount of whatever that may be for them as backers or whatever, for them to go through with the production of whatever item that they're trying to push forward. And I love that idea because it's low risk. Instead of taking that great leap, which we've done, I think, enough of. I mean, I started this company spending $300,000 of my own money, and we've taken our risk, and we are now moving and grooving with the comics. So that is the part of the company that is going to continue to produce in the same pre-order fashion that we've released. In fact, we want to improve it. We want to cut down on our times, and we also want to get like fulfillment times. And we also want to get to a point to where the format is just, hey, here's a book, go freaking pre-order it, and that's pretty much it. And we were thinking about efforts that, let's say, they're not as straightforward. Okay, I have big aspirations. This is a dream of mine. Okay, I am now in a position to where let's say most of my days are spent talking about properties that I'm a part of, or a company that I'm a part of, right? So if it's not our property, we're talking about Rippaverse stuff. I like that and I enjoy it. I have a lot of fun with it. And that's my day. My day, for the most part, outside of a stream or two where I might be talking to doing some unrelated stuff. Maybe I'm gaming or talking about something that's happening in the world. But most of my time is dedicated to our own stuff. And so we recognize that with those aspirations and that we want as many people as we can to enjoy the sandbox that we're trying to build for them, escapism, being able to nerd and geek out with fellow fans. That's what this is about for me. Okay. A lot of stuff just gets lost because I think people are so hyped up on their emotions. I know when we first launched as a company with the Rippaverse, we're obviously rough around the edges, kind of the new gig in town, right? New kid on the block. So we almost had to be rough around the edges there. And I think in that, a lot of people lose sight of why we do what we do and what was the point. From the very first video that I ever showed you, it was about fun. I looked at and I had a fire kind of lit under me because of the state of the industry and looking at how fans were being treated, looking out at the lack of continuity and all the things that people took exception to with the industry. That's why I created the company. We don't typically talk about stuff like this on the channel, but the quote on this channel, at least, but like the quote unquote wokeness, people get so tied up into that stuff. And we did an interview pretty early on. It was like a few days after the launch with Fox, myself and my colorist Gabe El Taib, and we talked about that. We explicitly stating like this is it's not anti. It's not, you know what I mean? Talking about the wokeness part of it. We're trying to build fun. That's what got us into comics. It was fun. It wasn't about being combative with other folks. Like that just came with it because of the general landscape of where we're at culturally, right? The point is that should not be as present and prominent as it is. So that's why I created the company with fun in mind from day one. So my aspirations were, I have this idea, I'm gonna kick it out there and see what happens, sell a few comics, then it blew up. Shout out to all the customers, the fans, thanks to every single one of you. And I recognize how special this was. This went beyond even the comic books. This was something that we were doing was special, from how we distribute our comics, how it's backed as far as our code of ethics, the customers that we have a direct line of sight with. We're always interactive with. We are very fan oriented because we have to be. We're B2C company or B2B. Excuse me, yeah, B2C company. We're not B2B for the most part. We have retailers that we sell to, but most of our customers are direct to customers. So we're going straight to you, and you are the backbone of the company. And so I have a lot on the line here. The Rippaverse has a lot on the line. And that's why we work so extremely hard to get to where we're at, to continue to build. And it's ambition tied into the fact that we have this love of comics, And so I say all of that because to get where we're at now, there were some trials. Did I sum to, again, investing money, trailer, Alpha Core trailer, Horsemen and Yaira and all these different things to really start to find out what this stuff is going to look like. Having a lot of conversations in the background with some very awesome people who've seen the animations and they want to get in on it. They think they can improve. They can think or believe that they can elevate it and we can do something special and keep it independent. And so we wanted to launch an initiative that allowed us, to I don't know if y'all can even get this Ice On shirt anymore in the store. But anyway, we wanted to start an initiative that allowed us to do some things that require capital, obviously, to create. That not, sometimes you're going to sell it. Obviously, a lot of it may be around a product like what you see with Has Labs, but a lot of it also can be like what we're doing first off and trying to do something that, of course, the intent is that it's going to attract other customers. The intent is that the customers that are already here finally get to see some of their favorite characters and even some of their favorite storylines be animated. How cool is that? So we were like, why don't we do our version of that where we crowdfund the initiative? If it gets funded, great, we continue on and we move. If it doesn't get funded, that's also great. We'll just refund everybody's money. If it doesn't fund, move on to the next project. So for us, this is low risk. This is a no-brainer. And we can do some very, very cool things. It's never been that we didn't have the talent. It's just about there are certain things that we like to do that just require capital that we cannot really afford to divvy those funds away from the main revenue stream, and that's the comic books, right? That's the comic books. We have to keep getting those made. We have to keep our contractors paid. That's the backbone, right? So for stuff like this, is a little different. So we started RippaWorks, and RippaWorks is the crowdfunding wing where we will do these projects, kick some off, maybe a few at a time. We'll see. We don't want to go too crazy, but we want to fund efforts or move on from them. But it's a way for us to truly test the market for what's going to that what we're thinking maybe that you want, and if you don't want it, and I want to be clear, we recognize that some of the things that we put out over the course of the next years through RippaWorks is not going to fund. That's the point of it. The point of it is we want to do more of what you like. We want to do less of things that it isn't even about things that you dislike. It's just things that you're not really that interested in enough to want to like set aside funds for it, right? So we just won't do those, or we'll do less of that. That's the point. So some of these efforts aren't going to fund. But we wanted to start with one. I took a poll. I said, hey, what's the first RippaWorks thing that you want us to do? The first project that you want to see get crowdfunded through RippaWorks, what is it? All platforms, you said animation. You said animation. Harkin, I shout out to you, man, and get well soon, homie. And therefore, by the way, thumbs the video up if you're hanging out with us tonight. And therefore, I said, all right, cool. That's what we're going to do. We're going to fund this bad boy, the animation, and there's two goals that are attached to this, making it plain and simple. 50,000 is going to be 10 short animated clips. We already have kind of the outline of how these are going to look. Some of these are going to be like reels and things of that nature, but it's going to be starting to fill out our style, building character sheets. That's the point of that. So you can kind of in a little limited capacity, but an animation nonetheless, see these characters come to life. And the big one is a high action, let's say that trailer, fully animated. It'll be at least around, a minute long. and at least as far as the action is concerned, at least a minute long, and it's going to be an upcoming project. This is the first time I've talked about this, so please listen. Me and Kanan White are working on something that I think is let's just say there's another project that we have coming along. I've seen some of the pages coming back from what Kanan's doing, and holy wow, it looks good, baby. Shout out Kanan, he's in the chat right there. So the plan here is that we're gonna do a animated trailer based on that. Rippaverse 6 is going to come out before this happens. Okay, so I want to be clear about that. It's just an animation based on that series that we're starting up. Okay, so we obviously have Saoirse, we have all these other things that we're working on. This is the next project here that you're gonna want to be. I promise you, trust me on this. And definitely once that first, if we ever hit that first goal, you'll start to see some of the things that we're talking about. You're gonna want to see the series animated as soon as you see it. Trust me on this, guys. But still working on Saoirse, all that stuff is still going to be dropping. But Rippaverse 6, we'll be on the lookout for that. But those are our two goals: 50,000 for the first goal, 100,000 for the second one. Okay, we would appreciate anything. Okay, now we have different support tiers. Okay, I'm gonna read some of these off. We have a low key supporter. You just are like, look, man, this is what I have. Have at it. We're going to give you the special thanks. We're going to give you the email updates to get you an inside scoop of some of the main general information about how this stuff is developing. Okay. Number 10, hockey supporter. When we do this animated trailer, your name will be appearing as a founding member in the credits. Okay? Now, there's a section when you check out that lets you type in the name that you wanted to show up. Because maybe you want to be anonymous. That's fine with us. And you could name yourself, whatever, McLovin 25. That's fine too. Okay? You can support us. We'd appreciate that. Things start getting sweet though around this $25 mark. Okay. So this is a crowdfund. This is not a pre-order. And because it's a crowdfund, we need to make sure that we are as transparent as possible. So my name can be 1992 Space Movie. Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. Obviously, we reserve the right to look. It's a trailer we're gonna put out. You can do some funny stuff, but if it's a completely explicit name, obviously, we got to be careful about that type of stuff. But number 25, at $25, you get the insider updates and the exclusive streams. Like I said, this is a crowdfund, okay? Therefore, we're going to be very transparent. You're going to be seeing inside, animatics. You're going to see the development, character sheets, all this cool stuff as we are building this stuff. That's what you're going to want to get if you want the true inside scoop on the development of the goals, okay? Obviously, we're going to keep everybody updated on how it's generally going, but as far as like big time inside scoop stuff and exclusive streams that will be just for the patrons and up, that's the one that you want. We're going to be doing streams. I'm going to get some of the actual team, animation team. They'll be a part of this. We're going to have an absolute blast with this. Okay. So get the 25 and up if you want to be part of that. I know a lot of y'all, that's pretty much where you're going to want to start. Okay. For you guys to keep up with the Rippaverse. We got 50. He's an insider. Okay. You're going to get the trailer and you're going to get it 12 hours early before everybody. You're going to see the trailer. We'll have a little party. That's your way to be an insider. Now, I've seen a lot of these already start to come in. Vanguard and up. You're going to want to do that if you want pretty much some physical items. So, obviously, we do our document cards. Binders will be shipping soon enough. The lenticular cards, you'll be getting an exclusive one that is unique to this campaign. Okay, to this tier and up. That's another thing I need to mention. If you get, as it indicates on the actual button, all the rewards from the lower tiers you get. Okay, so if you're getting Vanguard, you're getting all the stuff that comes with being an insider and a patron and everything else. Okay, there are 2 physical items that you start getting physical items at the $100 mark. Okay, we're gonna do an exclusive comic based on that series and animation that we're going to be doing, and we're also going to be giving you a card, one of the exclusive Dougman cards. So be sure to get that if you want to start getting some physical items. 250 and up, you get a graded copy of the signed and graded copy. So a signature series official copy at 250. 500 special Discord badge, and we've only done a few of these. Okay. We also grade posters. So there will be a brand new poster set around the world that will be CGC signature series. So you'll be able to get a signed version of the poster that's also graded at the 500 and up mark. Now, obviously, these 2 next tiers, we sometimes have some of those $100 bill guys. And we appreciate y'all. We wanted to make sure we had something for you. We got the Titan at 1,000. You're going to get sketch prints coming from our own team. Okay? Art team, including Kanan White. Official prints, official sketches, actual drawn, not like copied, actual drawn on the paper from the artist sent to you. Exclusive. And then we have, which I know a lot of people were going to want, that have the bread, obviously. This is a high dollar thing. You can be canonized within the Rippaverse animation. And yes, that's the animation that's coming out. Not a future one like that's down the line or something. No, the trailer for the $100,000 mark, you're going to be in that trailer as a stand-in. And of course, if you're one of those guys that like, look, man, I don't need all that stuff. I just want to, break you off a little something. All right, bet. We got you. You can become a supporter and you can add this and you'll be able to enter in your number. Obviously, the rewards and stuff aren't tied to it, but you can enter in whatever if it's $3, you can enter that thing in, okay, and check out. Just a minimum spend of $1. All right. If you have questions about what we are doing here, we do have a frequently asked question. We tried to take care of everything there, okay? Now let's talk about the stretch goals because things get really interesting. Shout out Faith, thank you so much. Let's see. We get to see if something if we spend 100,000. Yeah, it's $100. Yeah, if you spend 100, you're gonna get physical copies of like some items, 2 items actually. All right. So the stretch goals. I wanted to make these something that look. It allows there to be a scale. I don't know what to expect with this damn thing. Maybe you want it, maybe you don't. You said you want it. So, all right, I'm trying to supply you with that. So with these stretch goals here, I wanted to scale them in the event that they become more successful. We got 35 days. They become more successful. I am going to give you some more stuff. The company's going to give you some more stuff. Let's start at 150,000. 50,000 above the second goal. We're going to do another fully animated trailer. That's going to bring your animated trailer guarantee to 2. To 2. $250,000. So 100,000 above that previous stretch goal. All Vanguard and higher tiers are going to get, and the reason why it's Vanguard and higher and not like everybody is because that's when the physical items start to kick in. So we have your address and we have everything. So if you get a Vanguard or higher, there's going to be an exclusive official Rippaverse founders, RippaWorks founders hat that we're going to be giving you. Don't have to pay for it. That's just coming with all Vanguard and up backers if we hit that number. $300,000. You're going to get because this is when we start to get, okay, we have enough funds to start doing something a little longer in format. So we're going to do a production of a pilot episode of The Horseman. So this would be something like, okay, giving you the general concept. We've talked about doing a episode of Horseman. Now we get to finally give you a little bit something. But $500,000. You're going to get one of ISOM too. And I already have some ideas that I'm kicking around because there's a lot of stuff that I can do within 5-6 minutes. Now, I'm not expecting that this is going to happen. I want to be clear, okay? It's all about momentum. So again, if you're watching this, you'd be surprised how things work on the internet, okay? You got obviously we stealth dropped this, so this is going to be a little bit. We're going to go through the weekend, do a little promo, go through the week doing some promo because this was stealth drop. This wasn't like, hey, we got this big thing coming. This was a stealth drop, so okay. But you know, we can kind of talk about this type of stuff. If it hits somehow, some way, $1 million, tall ask. I hit the button. I say, let's just go ahead and start popping off the Rippaverse animated universe. So we're doing 3 additional animated shorts. And by shorts, we're talking about those pilot episodes. All of them connected to the animations. That's what we'll do if we somehow get there. At that point, it's no longer, we're going to need the funds to do. No, it's just like, we're just getting it going. We're just going to get it going. And obviously we're going to be making those with the intention of it also selling, obviously. Much like if somebody crowdfunds a video game, they're going to put it in Steam in hopes that it gets sold. So we can obviously make money off of those. We're going to somehow paywall that content because we're talking about an entire universe. I want to do Blu-rays, stuff like that is what we're looking at. But it's going to get done. I just hit the button at that point. No more of this. We got to get this. No, we're just going to do it. We're just going to say we're going to do it. Mr. Tate Daniel says, are we able to redeem a free item if we support with $100 like the other items? What do you mean? Oh, you're talking about like with the Rippaverse. No, I'm glad you brought that up. See, check y'all out. Bringing up some good questions. As you guys see, okay, this is different. This is a completely different fund. The other things that are happening on Rippaverse are straight up pre-sales and actual sales. We have stuff obviously in the store of all of our catalog, or of our entire catalog, which you can just buy stuff outright. Okay. That stuff is different. So you'll notice that when you try to check out, if you try to check out with something else, you can't. It has to be from this crowdfund. The transaction's different and everything. We're just keeping that separate. The funds are all going to the animation. Okay. So it's a different animal, different production. So we want to make that clean and nice. Okay, neat for you guys. So that's why, though it's on the Rippaverse website, when you check out, you will get if you try to check out with something else, it'll pop up with a message that'll tell you, hey, you can't do that. Just check out with this stuff. Now, that being said, you are going to be able to get some updates here at the bottom once we have those updates prepared for you. So you can always go back to the rippaworks.com/animation page. You can learn more about how the project is advancing. But obviously, the goal here is to keep the goal here is to keep you post it. Like, we're not going to leave you in the dark here. Like, always keep it locked to your emails. That's where all those updates are stemming from. So we see those transactions come through, and everybody that is part of the definitely depending on what tier that you're at and what you bought, we're going to make sure that we get you the information that you need. Okay. Payments one time, or can we do multiple payments for a specific tier? Payments are one time. Obviously, you can back it throughout the duration of it. Throughout the duration, 35 days or so, you can back that. You can back this project, but you can come back if you wanted to get a second tier, or like you wanted to support again, like you want to do the open support. You can obviously come back and do that again. But it is all the payments are like the way that this is done. Like, we wanted to make it clean as we possibly could, easy as we could for you to understand it. So just click whichever one of these tiers that you want, add it to your cart, check on out. As indicated in the facts, great question. As far as the funds are concerned, the payments obviously are taken immediately. They will be reversed, so they're taken, held, and secured, and then there's a full reversal of those funds in the event that this thing doesn't fund. So that was very important for us. To want to make sure we had that functionality correct. Obviously, the goal is to get these funded, but like I said, there's going to be the odd chance for anything that we put out through RippaWorks that it's not going to fund. The whole point of those is to make sure that we just because we want to hit the ground running as well. This isn't one of those things that we want to have to wait. You know what I mean? Like, we want to know, once this thing gets funded, I'm already greenlighting production. I literally have my animation team and like ready. Like, they're like, give us the word. Soon as this thing, if it does fund, you get what you get to go. We're getting it going immediately. Somebody asked in the chat, that exclusive comic really important to the verse. It depends on what you mean. I mean, it is a comic that's unique to the campaign. Obviously, we don't put out. We're not gonna, if we're gonna publish it, as in like put it out, it's going to be meaningful and impactful. But the whole, it's just it's going to be like more of like a Rippazine kind of thing, where it'll be more floppy format, which we don't release a whole lot of those. It's not going to be like something crazy, but it's going to be based on the animation, so you get to see that depicted. Money is only taken. Yeah, like everybody has their way of doing it, depending on what websites that you use. HasLab, Hasbro, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Backer Kit, and all those. Everybody has theirs. Yeah, we're pretty transparent about it, and it might not happen with even every single deal, but like especially with something like this, right? If the whole point of this is we want this delivered, and if you read some of the frequently asked questions here, one of them we talk about when this stuff is going to start to kick off, right? And we're looking to start delivering, like you said, we're trying to get the animated trailer delivered in 3 months. That's a relatively quick turnaround. So that's one of those. That's what I'm talking about. Like, we hit the goal, we're gone. We're already using those funds to start production, so we can get things good. We can get things going. That's the point here. So we're not gonna kind of drag this thing across the finish line or kind of get around to it whenever we get around to it. We just want you guys to support it. if it funds, we get to moving, and we appreciate that. Lenticular card. Yes, the card is lenticular, just like all document cards. Yes, correct. And the card is the card is and there's a comic tied to gold 1 or 2. The comic is tied to the tier. Now if you're talking about like the goal, if I understand you correctly, are you talking about as far as like, does it need to hit the 100,000 mark? The first goal is the goal, right? So the comic and all the other stuff, merchandise items, if we hit that first goal, you can anticipate that all this other stuff is going to come out. Great question, by the way. That may be one of those frequently asked questions that we get added there. But yes, the first goal is the goal. Like that's the goal that we want to make sure that we hit. And if we hit that, then all of the obligations that we have as far as the funding, like us getting things going, we're rocking and rolling with that. But things get really, really good at that second goal. So yeah, we appreciate that so much. All the support, thank you all so much. I know this is a bit of a stealth drop, and again, not a comic drop either. It's that you can get a comic in it. It's not a comic drop. That's just a little something that there'll be a little side thing. So goal 2 is really a stretch goal number 1. Not necessarily. Because it's still, I guess technically you can say that, yes. I mean, if you're looking at it like that, but like it's a goal that we really want to, like. This is the thing though. Once that first goal hits, we're already like we're running with we're running with funding these efforts. Okay. So I wouldn't look at it like a stretch goal, because there's no reversal. Why don't you do add-ons, like once you hit your goal, then add the perks to every tier? Well, that's how. It's a good question, but whether you know it or not, that's how a lot of people end up crippling their financial their campaigns financially. So oftentimes you'll see that they'll start cutting into margins, especially with those higher things. So you got to understand, we have a version of that. We do have one of those stretch goals where that is like that, which is but it's the Vanguard tier and up, right? Which is the stretch goal. Let me scroll down to it. The stretch goal, that is the hat, right? But yeah, that will be extremely problematic if we have to now account for an item and shipping it to all these people, when ultimately we're trying to fund that. That's cutting into that's adding extra costs, if that makes sense. We can afford to do that in a limited capacity, like we are with the Vanguard tier. We're already shipping those items, so we're not paying additional. Not gonna be paying additional in shipping and stuff. But you understand what I'm saying, that how that gets up there as far as those costs are concerned. People do it, and that's great, but we're trying to fund the animations, not cut into the spin. So yeah, like doing things like we do have an add-on. The add-on technically is the founder's hat, which will go to the Vanguard and up tier. But yeah, we're not going to be like doing those to where they apply to every single one, including the ones where they're just digital, like for $5, $10, all the way up to 100, except the 100, excluding the 100. So these tiers, all right here, these 4 tiers are all just digital items anyway. So now we'd have to add shipping to a lot of these guys, and that's when you start cutting into the margins here. And that's the thing, like we're trying to actually build the animations. That's the goal here. That is the goal. All right, let me get to the chat and stuff here. Rippa, I just wanted to tell you that Northcote is your best written book. Thank you so much. In my opinion, the best book of the Rippaverse so far. Wow. Shout out to you. Appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for that. Wow. That's those are kind words, man. Those are kind words. Johnny Red says the canonization, can it be a dog or cat, a pair of cats? Is the cat buying, or are you buying on behalf of the cat? I'm willing to be, man. This is $5K. I'm amenable to that. But Mr. Reese, I'm glad you like Norfolk. I had a lot of fun writing that. I do feel like it's one of my, my best efforts, and yeah, it is a very unique story for our universe. It's very different from the stories that you've heard from me. So it really gave me the opportunity to let my wings fly just a little bit. Carol made the executive decision. She said, for $5K, you can put your dog in it. Well, you heard it there. That is not cheap either. Shout out, Mr. Reese. Says adding unlockable things like stickers to an already physical product is very different to a campaign like this. Well, yeah, like I'm saying, that's why like we have, for example, the add-on for the Vanguards and up, which are all the tiers that have the physical items to them. That's why we have those there. And that makes sense for that, right? It's a very limited thing. It's only going to the Vanguards and up. But yeah, those fees start to get up there. When you start like going crazy, I've heard so many nightmare stories of people going that route, and they were very enthusiastic and they started adding all these goals, but that's more manufacturing costs. That's more shipping. Well, it depends on what type of item that it is. They can probably just toss it in the box for the most part. But some people add these items where it does impact the shipping as well. And it also makes sense for that, depending on what that is, right? It's just all about context, right? So if you're already shipping them an item and it's like just a toss in that won't cost you that much, like us, all right, cool. You're already shipping them an item, you're not paying additionally, but especially with something like this where the support is more digital, except for the Vanguards and up, yeah, those fees will get out of control if every stretch goal was like, hey, we're gonna throw in this to all of the customers. Again, definitely because it's an animation fund. So those are funds that we'd have to then spend on the manufacturing and throw that in, additional shipping if we were giving it to the digital guys as well. So we're then paying for the shipping and the product. And that's also cutting into the funds that could be dedicated to doing this animation. So yeah. Gotta be careful. And that's the point of these. Like the point of these is pretty straightforward. It's not, it's just to fund whatever effort that we have. We do some fun things. There's some add-ons there. But it's ultimately about that animation, like for this one. So if we do another one and it's about whatever that item is, then that's specifically what the effort is. There'll be some side things just to have a little fun, but it's not about going too crazy with those. You know what I mean? So yeah. Might make sense to consider digital add-ons, wallpaper or PDF that can be traced, added for zero distribution costs. Well, we are. I mean, that's one of the backer stretch goals, as an example, with us doing the documentary. If we hit 1,000 backers, so yeah, there's all sorts of cool things that. But even then, I mean, it's low cost, but it still costs. We got our guys that are doing things, but make sure you understand that everything has a price. So, even if it's digital, let's say that I have to, get someone to do some sort of art, or I'm paying them to do that. Make no mistake. So if I wanted the 5K, I have to drop it in one full mustache and spurs with boots on. Yes, it's A tier. So yes, you are correct. You have to just be a cocky son of a gun. And I don't know. I haven't looked if I don't think we have one of those yet. But yeah, you didn't pay $1 mail yet. Hey, everyone's got a price, man. Everyone has a price. Shout out to Ed DiBiase. But yeah, not yet. Nobody's got that tier, the 5,000 tier yet. But yeah, you'd have to be pretty cocky to get it. If the Rippaverse had a video game, what would you like to see? It just depends on what type of game. Like what's the goal here? We've talked about this before. If we're talking about something that has a more limited capacity, it's more like realistic, not limited. That's a way improper term, or too improper of a term. If it's something that we were like, okay, it's not going to be so crazy as far as the development cost. Yeah, we've talked about doing like beat 'em ups You know, there's a comeback with those. You've seen Ninja Turtles have came out with one with Shredder's Revenge, and there's you know, Streets of Rage obviously came back. And there's some fun stuff that we could do there, and I think that those costs wouldn't be crazy. I have a video that I did on my personal channel that you can check out where I talk about my dream game. And my dream game is much different from that. But that's assuming that I had unlimited funds, which I don't. Oh yeah, someone brought up Sizzle. Yeah, that's an option. Sizzle, we do have Sizzle. Um, 2D style. Yeah, like, you know, it's just are there limited spot? I mean, no, there's not limited. But we don't, dude. Not everybody's just got $5 just to be dropping like that. So we don't anticipate there's going to be. Wait, good problem to have if a bunch of rich folk just came by and said, "Hey, I like this project and I like this idea. I'm gonna go ahead and drop you a little something, something." Yeah, that would be great, but that's probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen. Um, so it's not limited. That's why I say that. There's all sorts of tasteful ways we can make you appear in the Rippaverse, and it'd be multiple people that are as far as the trailer is concerned. There's many ways we can do that. Tell Jeremy to get Elon on the line. Yeah, shout out Elon. If Elon's like, fuck it, I want to see this thing through. And Elon's like, I'm dropping 5,000. All right, great. Shout out Elon. But yeah, I mean, it's 5,000 ain't cheap. Like when we did the canonized for the Rippaverse, there was only 5 of those for the like ISOM 1. But get Rippaverse comic books as Christmas gift. Oh, shout out to you. Let's go. Let's go. Elon, give us a Horseman trilogy. Like I said, this is pretty simple, guys. I mentioned this. The stretch goals are pretty clear. Okay. I will take this as far as you guys want it to go. Okay. Obviously, we have our goals. Those are pretty clear. But if it blows up, it is what it is. We got 35 days, got plenty of time. So if it happened to go there, and that means that we're obligated to make more animations, stretch goals allow us to scale. So that's just what we're going to do. So this that's why RippaWorks, why it exists. It is solely for you guys out there. So this is the perfect opportunity for you to get out there and support us if you want to see these projects come to life, because it's not a pre-order. If it doesn't hit the goals, it ain't getting made. Isn't Elon already canonized as Kato Gooding? Good catch. Nah, not quite though. Not quite. So yeah, if it'll go as far as you want it to go. Like that's but you know, that's the bottom line. That's how these are constructed. Okay. But like I said, if it doesn't fun, it doesn't fun. And you know, we'll do all sorts of cool things. Like let's say that I did something like I don't know. And I'm not saying I'm doing this, so damn it, don't hold me to it. This is not like I'm exclusively like I'm not NDAing myself, I guess. Let's say we wanted to do like an actual replica of the Horseman helmet, right? Well, we got the costs associated. We know how much to make it worth it, how much we need to manufacture, or something like that. And we threw that out there, and it just didn't fund, and it just wouldn't. We reversed the payments, and it just wouldn't get made. Simple as that. That's the point of RippaWorks, is to do stuff like that. It's to do those things that they have risks tied to it, but this is lowering them by a lot. Lowering them by a lot. You heard it, Horseman here. I did not say that, Brimstone. That is not true. I did not say that Horseman replica helmet is happening. That is not what I said. Don't go spreading rumors. Didn't say that. I did not say that. What I said, that was just an example. If we did do one and it didn't fund, then it just didn't fund and we wouldn't do it. So I should tweet. No, you should not, Carol. You should not tweet that. That was never confirmed. Never said that was coming via RippaWorks or anything like that. Never happened. I want a Horseman helmet. Well, look, anything can happen, but that's not what I just made that analogy for. So you're saying there's a chance? It says the Merc Lounge. Whatever, I guess, but it's not a confirmation. I'm just using that as an example, okay? But it doesn't matter what that thing may be. If it doesn't fund, it doesn't fund, and we just won't do it. This is the bottom line. But that's what RippaWorks is for. It's for those types of campaigns. So they're entirely crowdfunded. You guys get to decide whether or not you want it, and if you decide you don't want it, we don't do it. Joe says, check out Dreams for PS4, PS5 might be a useful tool to test gaming ideas. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Elves with a 9 months is hoping for a video game, but still probably back to Vanguard tier for the comic book. Well, you got to understand also, and I'll tell you this much: video games were second. Okay. It was second. So I will give you that much. It was second. It was I gave a poll out on both polls on both big major websites that we have big followings on. Fans said they wanted video games second, okay? Understand that there is a great crossover between the two, okay? So as we are developing these animations, I wouldn't look at it like, okay, we started out with the animations and therefore the games aren't ever going to happen or there's no chance that we do that. No, those are going to be assets, character sheets, all sorts of influence, inspiration that we could reuse. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's not tied to it, but look at it that way. It kind of is. It kind of could be. Let's say that. So yeah, even if it's just $5, you out there, you're watching this right now, you're like, hey man, I ain't got it. $5. You got that? You gonna spend $5 on Bud Ice at the Circle K or the racetrack or the whatever. Hell, you couldn't even get a Bud Ice with $5. You get maybe a stick of, you can get double mint, one of them sugar-free double mint 35 packs. I think those might be just under $5. So what I'm saying is you're not gonna, it's $5. I appreciate the support. And don't feel like, oh, it's just $5. I'm not getting a Vanguard tier. I'm not walking around at the Titan gear, Titan tier or something. Dude, $5 goes a long way. A lot of guys donating or contributing $5. That goes a long way. There y'all go with these hashtags making stuff up. But it goes a long way. So even if it's just $5, if you're like, guys, look, man, I love to contribute more, love the Rippaverse, but hey, funds limited. My disposable income, I only got $5 That's fine. It'll go a long way. Buying gum and a comic book would be $10 in today's economy. That's true. Minimum. Tax included minimum. Minimum. I don't know where the comics when I stopped getting like a lot of the mainstream stuff, they had just gone up on average. You had a lot of $4.99 books out there, some going up. So hey, $5 here. Just bam, drop it. You're good to go. Why not? Is this Horseman? Brim, see, this is what I'm talking about with y'all spreading these rumors. It wasn't an NDA. It wasn't an NDA or anything. That was just an example. There is no Horseman helm. It doesn't exist. Not yet, at least. It doesn't exist. Fake news. Fake news. So yeah, even if it's $5, ladies and gentlemen, you can support us, and we'd appreciate that. We'd appreciate that greatly. If you just said low-key support us, just a little something I'm throwing your way. All right, cool. We'll take it. $5. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So we'd appreciate it. It goes a long way. I have the link pinned in the chat. It's also in the description. So you can get it either one of those ways. We'd appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much for the support. I know it was a stealth drop. We kind of just said, you know what, bam, why not? Not yet. No, I'm saying that I haven't green lighted or green lit any of that. That's what I'm saying. It was just an example. That's the point I'm making. It was just an example. Wasn't an NDA. But yeah, $5. $5, we'd appreciate it greatly. We are at, let me see how many support. We're at almost 50. We're closing on 50 supporters. Thank you so much. Thank you. Can we get to $100 by the end of the night? Mr. Reese, what happens if you fund the first stretch goal but not the second? Do only some people get refund? No. Production starts on after goal 1. So goal number 1, production is going to be starting. We're already utilizing those funds. If the second goal doesn't get done, we would just use those funds for the shorts that we're doing. Because we're already committing 2 shorts once we hit the 50 grand. It's just that, maybe we're doing more of those shorts, or we're doing we're like those shorts are going to be higher in level, because how these animation costs, it's basically it's time baked in it, right? So as well as the team, right? So if I'm paying multiple animators or whatever, but maybe this has more frames of action or something like that. That's what we would do. Rippaverse going to MegaCon, yes. 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 I would think the time will be longer for the campaign. Well, no, that's not what these are for, man. Like these are, it's the idea. It needs to be long enough for people to, whatever they're going through. Maybe paydays the following week or something like that, or a month, or then I don't know how they get paid. Depends on what you do for work. We just want to make sure it's enough time for it. If you want to be a part of it, we can collect that data. But what we found, as someone that has run campaigns, of different, like, obviously not crowdfunded campaigns, but we've run campaigns and collections. You collect a lot of data early on, and the data that you're collecting early on is like, okay, so if you do a shorter campaign, this is actually a great discussion to have. It's a different type of customers that typically start supporting things during that window. Okay. If you start extending the window, you will get more sales. Absolutely. Typically speaking, you're going to get more sales if your window is wider than the shorter. It's just those are different types of customers that are going to buy it anyway. So for someone like us, for example, when we have our stuff up for sale, after we have great long tail sales. Excuse me, for our books, meaning that after the collection ends, people come and buy a bunch of books. A lot of those they might not buy within the window, but they'll buy after it, right? The point of this whole RippaWorks thing is for the people that are interested to give you enough time to show us the interest. And if you're not interested enough to get in on it like that early, then you're like, you'll get around to it when you get around to it type of situation. It's not something that we need to be throwing a bunch of money into. So that's more why we're like, hey, for this, and look, for other collections or excuse me, campaigns, at least in this case, it makes sense for those to be longer. But with animation, we're trying to work on those immediately. It's our first deal. 35 days is more than enough to get a gauge of whether or not you want it. Because you got the bi-weekly folk, you got the monthly folk, every other week folk. All of them are seeing it during this time period. And that's not to say that maybe something isn't going on in someone's life and maybe they're going to be in a better spot to buy something 3 months from now. Absolutely. There's going to be those out there as well. But for the most part, the significant amount of the people that are going to be interested in it are going to be interested in it within this window. So it's more than enough information, I guess, is what we're trying to collect there. Thundarius says, if this fully funds, Ripper said he's dropping the golden Rippaverse banana hammock. Multiple GNG members will model it for diversity. That's also fake news. What's up, Thundarius? Good to see you, man. As always. I like how everybody just levying there's that. I appreciate it. People only get paid twice, and it's Christmas time. That's why I thought. Well, I mean, that's when sales for us go up. You know what I mean? During those periods of time, people get them as gifts and stuff like that. But yeah, no, we didn't want this thing carrying on for that much for that long. Definitely because again, the funds are getting allocated, and we want to move on. Like, do you want this or not? If you don't want it, then bet that. Would be cool if you or one of the team appeared on Real BBC FNT to promote it. I know Az is def for this. Yeah. I'll screenshot this right now, and I'm sending it to Az. Yeah, we'll make something happen. I'm game for this. Yeah, I'm game to show up, talk about it for sure. Maybe hit up a lot of these things, just so you know how our circle works. Oftentimes, it's like open invite. Like, it's flashes me up all the time. Like, hey man, you want to stop by at any time, you can do that. It's just oftentimes like the nature of my work is it's so different from when I was able to stream all the time. The time's different now, especially now with a kid. It's just like time that I used to spend streaming is now spent on doing something with the company. But yeah, most definitely, I can make some time to talk about this. Almighty Sink says, show me what you got. Say less. Well, we gotta get funded first, and then we'll show you what we got. And I'm telling you right now, not trying to hype this up. I know I gotta be a salesman, but I'm telling you right now what we got in plan. Some of the like concept stuff that I've seen from the team, where they're just like, I'm like, hey man, we're not green lighting anything yet, But they're like, I was bored. I messed around with something. Bros, I'm trying to tell you, this animation is going to be next level, bro. Next level. Like, it's not going to be a joke. I think this is something that you're going to be pleasantly surprised. My goal was not to, in doing this, to take the animations that we saw and like just repeat them. Like, I know the style and all that. No, what we want to do here is really refine it. We want to make this something that's ready for market. Okay. Something that is so good and of quality that we could say, I could charge people for this and they'd be willing to pay for it and buy it. Like, it's market ready. Now, whether they like it or not, that'll be to be determined. But you get what I'm saying. At least as far as the animation itself, no corners being cut there. Trust me when I say this, guys. If this stuff funds, I'm telling you, you ain't seen nothing yet. Whatever you saw before is nothing. Like, this stuff is next level, some of the stuff that we got planned for you guys. Next level. Just wanted to tell you congrats on being a dad. Hey, I appreciate that, homie. Much love to you. Thank you so much. Whether you know it or not, you guys love those kind words, man. It has been a blessing. Rippa coming soon. If I get to that level, we'll see. But no, seriously, guys. It's next level. I'm not even joking. Not even joking. It is next level. So yeah, even if it's $5, it goes a long way. We'd appreciate that. We'd appreciate that so much. But yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know. I want to take some time today. I wanted to let y'all know what's actually going on, what we're doing here. If you were a little confused, and I wanted this video to exist out there for those that just wanted some more information about kind of what we're doing, why we're doing it, stuff like that. Ready for Western animation to make a comeback. I heard that. It's needed. But yeah, man, get to support an independent project. Get to support obviously some animators actually doing the work. I know with the whole AI craze, man, things are getting crazy around here. But someone asked me a question about like voice acting stuff. They've seen like some people are starting to like do AI, and AI just it lacks in some cases with like some of the voice acting and stuff. And they were asking me if like we had planned to rely on that, and the answer is no. If other people want to do that, I'm not telling other people what to do. People do what they want to do. But nah, the whole point of us here is to like, we want to give gigs to people, and we want to have some fun. Salvage PI of the show, we're gonna be dope. I tell you what, if we hit $1 million on this, absolutely I agree. Like a cool, fun noir. Like, oh dude, I got ideas kicking right now. Oh man, I could do a 6 score, man. I got a partner play saxophone. Oh, bro, we could do a sick ass score for like a soundtrack for Salvage. That would be really fun. When are you gonna start back playing Mario Kart that needs some humble pie? You can serve up. My wife was trying to convince me Wednesday to play with them. I was working. She was like, just jump in there. I was like, man, I haven't played. We're having a Rippaverse this upcoming year. In 2026, probably. We didn't have one this year, but in 2026, probably. Are there any teaser rough whip animation line tests we could peep to what it tastes? I mean, we've done a bunch of animations. We wanted to show those. There's going to be a similar team. There's going to be some guys added in for sure to try to get the style where we feel great about it. But yeah, I mean, we've shared. I mean, we got so many behind the scenes stuff we showed of the animations. That stuff is all. I don't have it like ready, but I mean, as far as the action is concerned, I'll play this again. As far as the action is concerned, since some of you guys haven't seen it, this is our latest one. That's not Norfolk, obviously. That's full action. Some people say this is our best work.
Who the hell is this guy? What's he want? Where's he come from? After every soldier I have with him and he kicks their ass. Outman. A gun. And he walks away clean. With my money. Now what are y'all gonna do about that?
Turn us loose, Tuna.
Let us do what we do.
So, as far as the action is concerned on that is a lot of people love that. A lot of people have been like, man, we've that was crazy. You want to see more of it? It's really simple. Back this project for $5. That's it. I mean, you can get the higher tiers, you can start getting some special things, but if you're just one of those, just like, hey man, I want to see where it goes. I want to at least say I contributed. $5. You got it. You're gonna spend that on Bud Ice at the 7-Eleven. Probably not. Russ says website issue, the extra support at checkout didn't work. Are you saying the extra support like the add-on? I clicked the $5 button, but it didn't add on. I tried apply and it used the custom 0 value. Carol, are you still in there? If you can copy that with and send that to our dev, that text from Russ to confirm that. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the details, but it's at least worth seeing if our dev know of this being a thing. But so if I understand you, Russ, you're saying that when you try to do like let's say you got the $10 high key supporter, and the option when after you check out, it says something along the lines of if you wanted to add more to it, you're saying that didn't work? If I understand correctly. That's how I'm reading that. And so in that case, you're talking about the functionalities, not of the like, where is it at? Functionality of you're not talking about the open support here. You're talking about the open support of the open support add-on, if I understand correctly. I love to show your independent mindset if the campaign is successful. And the final works get interest from mainstream studios. Streamers, would you be interested in a partnership? Wow, that is a good question. All right, so you're saying if let's say we did something cool and like somebody like fucking Netflix reached out to us and were like, we wanted to do that, like a version of that, or at least put it on our platform, or wanted you to produce a full deal. I would say that it wouldn't. I would have to. I just don't see that happening. And I'll tell you why. They're not going to give me what I want. They're not, so I wouldn't even get my hopes up on something like that. It's not anything that I ever strive for. What I would want would be like a Robert Kirkman with, and I see what I know. I see what you're saying. I get it now. Like if one of those studios hit us up after we developed something, and they were like, we want to see this full fledged, developed on our platform, released. Would I do it? And I just don't think that they would give me what I want, because what I would want is complete and full control. And they're not going to give me that. It's just not how studios work out. Like there's going to be concessions. There's going to be, you're selling they're licensing it, and therefore they need to get that. You'll get some approval. Obviously, you're going to get some sort of, that not everybody. Like, for example, J.K. Rowling, from what I understand with her contract with Harry Potter, as far as the rights, she gets the final say on anything Harry Potter related, or at least her estate does. That is such an abnormal. That is such an abnormal. So when I say estate, by the way, I'm saying that like her entourage, like if she has someone else that's specifically what they're here to do. Something like that is so fucking. Ah, it's so rare. Like that's like such a unique deal. It's just not something that always happens. And so for me, I would have to be in a position to where they are giving me full total control over every aspect of the creation. So anything that I say, if I get the veto, basically. Um, and obviously, yeah, you want the financials to look good, which depending on who the studio is, they're not going to be short of any money. But that's would be the biggest thing for me. Would be, it's got to be true to what I want it to be. It's I don't think I just don't think they let me do it. But if we're just theorizing, ideal world, would I entertain it? Absolutely, I would entertain it. I'm not stupid. Um, I'd at least entertain it, but that's not like the way I built my company, the way I build this business. I'm not waiting on anybody. We're an independent company. Uh, and we'd remain that way. So it wouldn't be a case of like I would sell the rights off to someone else to use it. There's no amount of money that people can throw at me. And I know some people will say I'm stupid for that, but yeah, there's no amount of money that people could throw at me that I would give them ownership of something that I am doing. Like I would give them ownership of like the company, or like an aspect, like even if it was like the animation, like let's say someone's like, hey, we're gonna give y'all this money to sit on the side, shut the fuck up. And like I just that's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. And this is my theory. It's not even a theory. Like this is my philosophy on this. The way that I see it is, I'm okay with losing on my own terms. Like, man, I grew up in sports, man, and I grew up playing one of the most, like, not only grew up, competed at all through college as a damn good athlete, mighty fine one. If I do say myself, still the record holder over at A&M Corpus Christi, still the record holder over there in the 100-meter dash. I'm okay with losing. It's just got to be on my own terms. I'm okay with, I tried some and it didn't work. Perfectly fine with that. I'm okay with with the I do something and maybe it didn't land like I thought that it was gonna. I'm perfectly fine with that. I've never not been okay with that. Take it, get your lumps, improve. That's my philosophy. What I could not stand and what would drive me crazy is knowing something that is mine, supposedly, and it will like fail, and I had nothing to do with it. That will make me fucking sick. No amount of millions of dollars would make me feel good about that. You see what I'm saying? Like if someone like let's say Netflix gave me 80 billion, well, they wouldn't have that like to spend like that. Let's say they gave me $10 million to sit on the side and shut the fuck up as they made Ice on. Like a I don't know, animated series. It could be anything. And they just say, look, we just want full control, of it. You'll get like some say, but ultimately we're paying you the millions of dollars to shut up. And then let's say it absolutely fucking tanked. Like people despised it, it bastardized the character, something like that. That will make me absolutely sick. That would make me sick. So I couldn't do it. And that's one of the things that often when you get to that tier, what happens, and that's with anything, if there's a lesson to be had here, that's it. When you start seeing success in any industry that you're in, as you start to grow, what you will immediately notice is the more successful, and some of that stuff, as far as success is concerned, is all like smoke and mirrors. But what people see success, so it's landing that deal, it's being on this proper channel. A lot of that comes with so much sacrificing of your integrity, and it comes with compromising aspects of your company that to me is just not worth it. I'm not gonna out the like we've had some opportunities to chat with some like big box cats that like we're 100% willing to house like ISOM and books and stuff like that in their establishments. Let's just say that because I don't want to give it away. And it was like if everybody's interested, they see the numbers, they see the revenue, everybody's interested. Like okay, and it got to a point to where we're having one of these meetings, and I got like the first kind of like it wasn't a draft, it was more of a pitch of proposal is what it was. And the proposal basically was us completely collapsing our distribution model and letting them have control of it. And that would have had us in pretty much every major big box. And I'm not talking like just bookstores, like I'm talking everywhere. But that's the way they do business. But that's normal, right? That's the game. The game is exactly that. You can get all this, but we're gonna need your, we have to be the ones to control and have the exclusivity. And I'm just not interested in that. Other people that may be attractive, but that's not why I started this company. I'm partner. I love partnering with people. That's awesome. Partnering with people is amazing. I love that. I love collaborations like that. That stuff is fun for me. Do that all day long. But just giving people control of my shit, just nah. Just won't have it happen. Melly Mac says hi. Tell her I said what's up. Melly Mac did a awesome unboxing of that Yara statue back there. Y'all can't see it, but that Yara statue back there was awesome. Shout out. Shout out. She's awesome. But yeah, man, it's it's always a give and a take with that type of stuff. It's always a give and a take, and you got to be careful. Some people, and the reason why it becomes so attractive, a lot of it's money. Like it is very hard. Definitely, if you don't come from it, man. People wonder why like rappers and rock stars and like fucking athletes go broke. Because they get offered all these different things and they have to give up so much. Um, but it's so easy for them to do that because they're being offered money that they never had access to, ever. Never had access to. And yeah, man, I've had the luxury of being a little successful over the years. And so it's quite easy for me to look at a lot of money and look at that high dollar amount and say I'm just not interested. And not everybody wants to do that. And for some people, it's exposure. Like you got to understand, some people, like, definitely if they're in like film and stuff like that, like some of these guys, that was their lifelong dream. They just wanted the most people. It wasn't about the money. They just wanted the most people to see something that they worked hard on. And so for them, that type of stuff is worth it. But like it's all about aspirations. Like what is more valuable to you? Is it the sanctity or the integrity of whatever you're trying to build, or is it exposure? Is it money? Is it like whatever that important thing for you is? Are you doing this because you wanted to, get in a better financial situation? Are you doing this because you had passion in it and you just you work so hard, you want people to see it? Like that was the eyes. Like maybe people's intention is what you are fighting so hard for, and for others, it's a process, and that's what it is for me. It was so it's not just one thing for me. It's the creative element, it's the financial, it's the puzzle of it all. That's all in like why I approach business the way that I do. And if it doesn't serve the things that I'm interested in, I won't entertain it. Well, I entertain it, but I just won't accept it. So it just depends on who you are, where you're from, and what your aspirations are. That's why you see people, and sometimes it is money. Some people are like, they see that big dollar amount and they're like, fuck that. That's life altering money. I am going to take it. You can have it. This is why assets get sold so often, man. This is why so many, big companies end up being in control of these properties, is because they get sold off. The rights, like it's something that they're like, what, you gonna give me how much money for this? Shit. All right, you can have that film, you can have that IP, that's yours. It's difficult for some people, but for me, it is one of those things that I gotta get a little more. Got to get a little more, you know. Shout out all of y'all. Appreciate you. Again, keep in mind, where am I at? Okay. The hell. Go support. We got a bunch of different tiers you can support for just low as $5. I don't think you're cheap I'll tell you what, if you get $5, low key supporter, that's fine with me. That ain't that's like, I would say, like, that's not cheap, especially not cheap. $5 goes a long way. True love is successful. I just can't afford anything at the moment. Love the honesty and the effort. Wish I could donate. Hey, appreciate you stopping by. Nonetheless, goes a long way, fellas. I would appreciate you dropping whatever you have in your contributions. We thank you. We thank you so much. Either way. Okay. I am going to at some point, I don't know. I'll stream on my own channel, maybe tomorrow or something like that, go into even some more details. I just wanted this to exist to explain. People will watch this afterwards, excuse me, and they'll be able to check out everything. Can you buy different tiers on different days? Yes. If you want to go back to the store and go buy a different tier, another tier, you can. Yes. Yes. I wrote 2 graphic novels on Amazon. Can you help me distribute? It's Escaping Area 51. Can I help you distribute? I mean, that's Rippaverse, Rippaverse.com, man. Yeah, get in contact. That's where all of those inquiries, that word always fucks me up. Inquiries. That's where they go. So yeah. All right. I am going to fire some stuff off. Like I said, we just launched this late today, a few hours. Please go support it if you don't mind. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's in the description. It's pinned in the comment section. I'm going to play this video on my way out. Tomorrow I may stream. I'll pop up in various places. You'll see us talking about this. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you so much for your love, guys. I am going to go get to work because, like I said, we just launched it. So I got ads. I got all stuff I need to work on. I will see you guys later. Okay. Till next time, y'all be easy. Thank you so much for your continued support. I will play the video on the way out. RippaWorks.com/animation will take you directly to this page. Okay. Directly to this page. You can learn about everything, but I'm going to explain it right here. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you. You're awesome. Hello to you all. I'm Eric July, the founder and owner of the Rippaverse. You've seen what our team can do. From ISOM to Alpha Core, Yaira, the Horseman, and Norfolka, the Rippaverse has already come alive through animation. But now it's time to take it to the next step. This is the first ever RippaWorks project, the Rippaverse Studios Animation Fund. Help us create more animation, refining everything in hopes of eventually launching a full-fledged animated universe. This campaign has 2 clear goals. Goal number 1, fund 10 original short clips based on ISOM, Yaira, and Alpha Core or Bloodruth. Goal 2, produce a fully animated high-action trailer based on Rippazine issue number 6 and its upcoming series by Kanan White and myself. Now, the purpose of this project is really simple. We want to nail down our animation style. We want to solidify our team, and we want to set the standard for Rippaverse Studios moving forward. We feel like we already have a great style, but we know that we can take it to the next level, and we've built a plan to make that happen. Now, this isn't a pre-order. It's our first ever crowdsourced project. It's your chance to directly shape what comes next. Through Rippaworks, you decide which projects move forward. There are several tiers to choose from simple supporter levels to exclusive collectibles to the opportunity to literally be canonized within the animated Rippaverse. And as always, everything is backed by our same commitment to independence, transparency, consistency, and quality. We don't have any outside investors. We don't have those corporate strings attached. We just have the fans and the drive to just keep building. So whether you're contributing $5 or $5,000, you're helping us take things to the next level. And though we have 2 primary goals, our stretch goals show that we'll take this as far as you want to go. Because every dollar goes straight into animation. This is your chance to help greenlight and fully launch the entire Rippaverse animated universe. We love to have your support, and any contribution is appreciated. Head over to the campaign page for more information and details.